Hi there, I'm Vernon. I'm a creativity coach and I help people to find more meaning and fulfillment in their lives. And you've come across this video because a big part of my 2016 is sharing as much useful information and ideas as I can with as many people as possible. So I hope you get something out of this short video. And the title of this video is 5 powerful questions you can ask yourself to get your 2016 to be the year you want it to be. I could have said that in a lot shorter way, but you get the idea. So question number 1 is, are you prepared to truly and deliberately and radically manage the input that is controlling the output of your 2016? So the result of where you get to this year is very much going to be based around what it is that you're putting into your mind, into your beliefs, into your attitude, into your body as well. So to what degree are you prepared to control that input? So a good example of that is the input in terms of the people that we spend time with. Okay, so the environment that we immerse ourselves in. So for me, it was really important that I managed that very carefully. And over the last 5 years or so, I've got a different group of people that I spend the majority of my time with. And these people uplift me and give me confidence and challenge me and help me to see things in a different perspective. Whereas before, there's nothing wrong with those people. It's just that they were not going to help me to get to where I wanted to. So the question is, to what degree would you be prepared to maybe change that around a little bit? You know, maybe instead of meeting somebody, drop them an email. Might sound a little bit over the top. I'm being serious. Another way that you manage input is the information that we consume. So whether that's, books or newspapers or media and all of that. So are you going to control the mass media and the social media information input that you put into you? I mean, a really good example, on the tube, on the underground, where there isn't that much interaction between people, between strangers, everyone's trying to find a way to keep themselves amused, just keep themselves going until they get home. And there's not that many ways that people go about it. They will either be fiddling around on their phone, typically social media, maybe listening to music, reading the Metro paper, or reading a book. Now, for you, the question is, what do you choose? What decision do you make in terms of that consumption, that information that is going to help you get to where you want to go? I've heard it said that your journey, your commuting can be another university for you if you choose to. If you want to learn something new, learn a new language, get a higher level of self-belief and confidence and energy and enthusiasm, you can put the right stuff into you, and that's your choice. So, to what degree are you prepared to manage that input? Because that will play a big role in what your 2016 looks like. So question number 2 is, are you prepared to accept what is? And we've all heard the expression, it is what it is. Okay, but to what degree do we really embrace that? Do we really take that into our everyday lives? So what is any past or present moment. And there's a very strange thing that we do as human beings, is anytime that we're dissatisfied or upset or disillusioned or peed off about something, what we're doing is we're wishing that something in the past or the present were different, that there was something that we could change about that, which is actually impossible. It's completely impossible. So we're actually just crazy as people. So if we cannot change the past and if we cannot change the present, then what can we control? Well, of course we can control our future as well. So this is about not wasting energy focusing on the wrong things, focusing on the impossible. One way that I heard this said was, don't waste a moment wishing something were different. Don't waste a moment wishing something was different. If there's something that you can do about rectifying the situation or improving it in the future, then that's where you want to focus your time and your energy. And this is something that we can apply to the smaller areas of our lives and even the bigger areas. So think about that question. To what degree are you prepared to accept what is? Because all the majorly successful people in the world are very good at managing this, not wasting a moment wishing something were different. So question number 3 is, are you prepared to be genuinely committed to your goals? So we all have goals, especially at the beginning of the year, things that we want to create, things that we want to become, things we want to do, all of that. But the reality is, if we go into it half-heartedly or even just 90%, there's always that opportunity that we're going to get distracted and we're going to be sidelined and we won't get to where we want to go. And there's a great quote, or it's an excerpt from a book that I came across, which says, "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, ineffectiveness." And it's so true. I remember writing that down and put it up on the wall in my bedroom. It's so true. Commitment is where we don't have any kind of hesitancy. Okay, so to what degree do you have that full commitment? And there's ways that we can have that full commitment. Now, for some people, and personally, I suggest this for most people, it might be useful to work with somebody else. It might be useful that you're accountable to someone else or a group of people. And that's something that works for me, definitely. Another thing that we could focus on to have deeper commitment is in building clarity around what it is that we want and cultivating that. You've heard of things like dream boards and stuff like that, where we just really try to work on that picture of what it is that we're moving towards. And the deeper that clarity is, there is a much less chance of us having non-commitment to the things that we want. So question number 4 is, are you prepared to use your creative imagination? So there's the conversation that I have a lot, which is whether somebody is creative or not, whether you believe you are creative or not. One thing I know for sure is you have the creative ability to use your imagination. And I talk about imagination in the sense of the power of visualization, the ability to create a picture of something in the future in order to give you the energy and the motivation to move towards that. So Einstein said, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. So yes, we commit to self-development and we read books and we consume that kind of information, but there's also this real practical step that we can take, which is visualizing, painting that picture, infusing it with emotion, painting that picture of what it is that we want to move towards, just like how an athlete imagines themselves crossing that finish line first. And there's a great story to illustrate the power of imagination. There was a US Navy pilot who was captured during the Vietnam War, and there's a great story to illustrate the power of imagination. There was a US Navy pilot who was captured during the Vietnam War, and they put him in a 5x5 cell. So he understood that he was going to be restricted physically, but he knew that he could control what was happening mentally. And what he decided to do was, using his imagination, he pictured a beautifully perfect golf course. Imagine every fine detail of this golf course, the grass and the sand and the water, all of that. And every day for 7 years, he played a full round of golf on this golf course in his mind, in his imagination. He imagined the wind blowing. He imagined the perfect strokes that he was playing. He imagined the clothes on his body, everything. Day after day after day. And after he was released, he went and played a game of golf and was able to improve his score by about 20 strokes. So, and there's actually been many studies that have done this. I think there was a popular study done with people throwing basketball, free throws in basketball as well, where they just use their imagination to practice. So if imagination is powerful, is that powerful, can we apply it into our lives? Are you prepared to use your creative ability? Are you prepared to use that power of imagination and visualization to picture that future that you want? And there's countless numbers of successful people who've used visualization, who've used expectation to reach the levels of success that they have. So in what area of your life will you use that in? It could be in your relationships, in your marriage. It could be in for health. It could be for your job, in your career. Picture what it is that you want. Picture also the obstacles that you might face and how you've overcome them as well. So really powerful, creative imagination, creative use of your imagination to help you and to give you that energy and that enthusiasm and that motivation to move to where you want to get to. And question number 5 is, are you prepared to be brutally honest about your general attitude? And I ask that question because most of what we will try to apply just doesn't work. There's different lessons and different insights that have come through these questions that I've asked right now. And you will go out there and you will try to apply them, but a lot of them just won't work. And that's me being brutally honest. And the reason for that is because if they are not consistent with who you really are, then there'll just be a conflict, and quite simply, they just won't work. You won't be able to follow through with that. So are you the kind of person that just gets down very easily about small things? Are you a kind of person that reacts to things that other people do or say and their behaviors? You know, almost like a kind of bitchy or gossipy approach to life. You know, do you embody that? Are you a person that behaves in a certain way around certain people, but yet who you are is something that's quite different? You know, do you project an image that's just not who you are? It's about just getting these things into alignment, and that is all part of just, what I would say, just growing up and maturing. And you won't get to that place that you want to go. Well, in certain arenas, in certain worlds of work, you can get to where you want to go by living a lie. But I think if you want to be truly satisfied, and that's really something that you could focus on this year, it's just be brutally honest with your general attitude. Who are you? Who are you really? And who do you really want to be? So, I hope you got a lot from these 5 questions. I am wishing you an incredible 2016. Go for it, move forward. And by the way, if you do feel the urge to visit my website, it's www.thecasualartist.co.uk. I see great potential in you, and you just need to start saying yes to your own potential.